my beautiful viewers. How are you feeling? I am so excited. Here in New Zealand, it's early morning. The sun is coming through here. I had to close the blinds, but before closing the blinds, I just had a minute. I closed my eyes and I felt the sunshine. Today is such a special, special day. Our episode is called Grace After the Storm. And I've got exquisite ladies that is going to come and share their story. I cannot wait for you to meet my beautiful guest. And Grace After the Storm, yes, they are servicing with love others because they felt and they went through amazing transformation. And now they are showing up, they are stepping up and they are souling up my beautiful company's motto. Souling, serving others with love. I am so excited. But before I bring my beautiful guest on, I just wanted to say thank you to my beautiful two sponsors for helping me that we can have this amazing Power Hour TV show. You don't know what is going to happen in 1 hour. In 1 hour, you might just feel that wording or that sentence or that lady's or gentleman's story, if they can do it, I can do it. So the power of the Power Hour is truly magnificent. Are you ready? I am ready. Here is my beautiful Jose's video.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of some of the highest level entrepreneurs all around the world, over 440 plus members. We are in 46 states across the US and over 24 international countries, growing every single day to the tune of 1 new member per day on average, Monday through Friday, with a retention that's massively high. And why do we retain a lot of our members? Why are we growing so fast? Because we're bringing the best of all entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds under one roof. We're doing some special things here. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to scale your influence, make more money, get more clients, referrals, leads, collaborations, endorsements, you name it, this is the hub for you. Check out connectedleadersacademy.com. We would love to welcome you in. Thank you.
Thank you, my beautiful Jose, my beautiful Shaminda. Thank you so much for you and your amazing team that are doing your magic with some of my beautiful posts and videos. And we are talking about legacy and celebration this month. It's going to be amazing. And so, by the way, my beautiful viewers, it's my birthday. And for me, celebration is key. And then, what legacy am I leaving for my beautiful children and grandchildren? So here is beautiful Shaminda.
Like you're wandering through a maze with no exit, struggling to find clients? You're not alone. I've helped countless entrepreneurs find their way out in just 7 days.
I have to say, Shaminda, your team absolutely is amazing, and I could not have made a better choice.
I think you're the greatest blessing I believe I've had in a long time in my life, along with your staff.
They have made the biggest difference in my business.
And I can help you too. When you book a call with me, you will get access to my $997 course for free about how to find clients in just 7 days. It's like a GPS to success. The best part is when you book a call, you will also get a free landing page built for your business. And scan the QR code and book a call. See you inside.
Just do it. You're not going to regret it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. My guest is here. I'm so excited. My beautiful ladies, today's show is truly a blessing. I spoke to a beautiful lady, Linda, coffee chat, and after we had the chat, this show sparked out of there. She is still on her way, and she said she's going to stop at the hotel and then do the recording. So I presume that she could not get that right. So I would just want to do a dedication to Linda Barris, my beautiful Linda. Thank you for your amazingness. Thank you for shining your bright light. And thank you for sharing your experience going through cancer and now going through your second treatment. So thank you so much for always having a smile. And when you don't feel good, that you still motivate others. Thank you, thank you. So my beautiful Tammy, may I ask you, can you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
My name is Tammy Largent, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Thank you so much. And my beautiful Giovanna Key, please, and I always call Giovanna Key because I was with her in house. I was a guest. I was like, we are talking for many years, and then we had an honor, and then I call it the cherry on the cake that we could have seen each other and we could have hugged each other and spent time with each other. So my beautiful Giovanna Key, please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Giovanna Tartarone, and I'm from New York City, New York.
Thank you. So my beautiful ladies, we're gonna talk about what things that you went through that have changed your life forever and that you are now helping. And I don't want to say help, can I say guide other people through? It's for me, you are the power is what you are. So I'm truly so blessed that you said yes to come to the show. So are you ready? So my beautiful Tammy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And then can you tell us when did you decide this is now? This is now. There's no point of continuing. This is now the way it's going to go in the future. And that you are serving so many people around the world. It's incredible.
So my story begins, I was a professional entertainer. I did theme parks and dinner attractions and that type of thing. And just a few years into my career, I went through a date rape that basically took away a lot of, it took away everything as far as I was concerned. I was saving myself for marriage and really went down a really bad path for about 3 years, left my faith. And one day I was working at one of the theme parks, and the theme park had a church, and I heard a song, Just As I Am, which was played out of the back of the church. And it, like a magnet, I was drawn in, and I got to the church and I just sat in the back and just cried. And I was just a puddle in the back. And I realized I really needed to get back to God and figure out what it is I was supposed to be doing with my life. And that was the turnaround. I never really turned back after that. I began to seek God and figure out what was going on and how I was supposed to become a teacher. And so I became a high school teacher and have enjoyed sharing the stories of how I was an entertainer. I grew up on a guest ranch, which is also a very unusual life. And from that, I've also been able to share with a lot of young women the importance of being able to protect themselves and be able to let go of the shame, because they aren't the ones who caused the situation. That was a choice that was made for them. And so God's been incredibly gracious as he brings more and more young people for me to minister to and love on because of those circumstances.
Wow. Thank you, my beautiful Tammy. Thank you for sharing your story. So my beautiful ones, we do have Selena that have joined us. Before going over to you, my beautiful Giovanna, I am going to bring her in studio, and then we're going to go directly to you, my beautiful Giovanna. Just give me 1 second. Hello, my beautiful Tammy.
Hi. I had so much difficulties trying to get on, but I'm here. Hi, ladies. How are
Thank
you?
you.
Hello.
So my beautiful Selena, we will
I
be
don't know why
asking.
my camera looks like I'm so big.
It's okay. I'm gonna mute you for 1 second because we're gonna go over to beautiful Giovanna, and then I will come back to you. Thank you.
Okay.
My beautiful Giovanna, can you please tell us your story?
So, living the American dream, I came here from Italy, right? Wanting to do more, have more, be more. I worked very hard to really check off everything off the list that, you know, talked about success. How do we get success? We go to school, we get a degree, we want to become the best mom. And so I did everything. And then come one day I get a knock on the door. I get this phone call and it says, I'm sorry to tell you, you have breast cancer. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
And hearing that was like, I got the biggest stab in my heart, right? Because I did everything that society dictated that we had to do, everything to be successful, to have more. And knowing that I followed all the rules, something didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to know why. Why did this happen to me? And I did exactly what Tammy did. I reached to God to get my answers, and the answer was right within me. The answer was, why not? Did you take care of yourself? Did you really follow your heart, or were you following the rules that somebody else made for you? Right? So when I realized that my whole life was to get the American dream, but on my health, on my expense, then it was the biggest eye opener. And this is where I turned to God to say, show me the way. Because I did everything by the book. What I did not do was put him first. And I believe that's a lesson that we all go through when we go down this path of a storm. We don't believe he's with us until after the storm, right? So, yeah, so now I know that everything I go through in life, I am not alone. Neither is every viewer watching this show right now. Whatever they're going through, whatever storm, hold on to that faith. Hold on to that faith. Yeah.
Oh, my beautiful
Mm.
Giovanna. For me, when you were speaking, that is exactly where I was.
Mm.
And then when I brought God nearer to me and then went over and started looking after myself, start loving myself unconditionally, my life changed. Wow. Thank you for your story, my beautiful one. We can have a little bit more questions on your story, both of you ladies. I have Selena, I have put the tough stuff for Selena in the private chat. So she is ready to come on. So my beautiful Selena, there you are. So I see that you are in the car. You stopped, my beautiful one. So please, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, ladies. I am in New Jersey, and I am a intuitive soul influencer. And what that means is that I empower others
I'm
to
so
slow
sorry, my
down.
beautiful Selena. Your your mic is terrible. We can actually not hear. I'm gonna try one more time, and then unfortunately I will have to let you go. So let me see if it's gonna work better now. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, no. I'm so sorry, my beautiful Selena. We could not test the mic because Selena had to travel to get to a place that she can come in. She has such an incredible story. We had our Soul of a Diamond author's journey where she come and share her amazing book. And thinking of today's show, I would have loved to have her on the show. So, my beautiful Selena, if you can do something on your side, and then we can try
Yeah.
again. Otherwise, then I will be going. I have to let you go. Just give me 1 second. Okay, try now.
I can hear it too.
So, my beautiful Selena, I know that you are still in the back studio. I'm so sorry, my beautiful one, we cannot hear you, and I'm not able to continue as for you to be in studio. So, I would love to invite you to another show. So, I'm so sorry for all this, but we really cannot hear you. You are welcome to leave the studio, and I will invite you then to another show. We will be testing your mic before the show. Thank you, my beautiful one. Just ladies, just give me 1 second. My beautiful viewers, just give me 1 second. Here we go. Whew. I always say life happens and it's what you do with it. I could got in a panic mode and say, oh, what must I do? But I did give her the opportunity and it didn't work. So now, just with grace, we're going to have her on the show another time. So, my beautiful Tammy and Giovanna, I've prepared a few questions. So, let me just go down to my questions. What role did the community or connections play in your healing journey? Tammy?
So, well, recently I had a healing journey in that 9 weeks ago I was diagnosed with stage 1 colon cancer, and we've just moved to this area. We've only been here about 18 months, but fortunately my church is really big on discipleship groups, and so I had joined 3 discipleship groups, which sounds like a lot, but I just really enjoy people. And so when this happened, they were my main community. They came around and gave us meals. They made sure my husband was fed. They made sure my neighbors made sure our dog was walked while I was in the hospital. Just so much incredible things, how God basically wrapped us in a blanket of community to fulfill, just everyday needs, cleaning your home and washing the dishes and that kind of stuff. It was such a blessing to my heart. I never in a million years thought that I would need that much, but God provided so much. And I was so thankful to see that people offered, and I was excited to say yes because I didn't know what I was going to do. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, with that question, to convey it to your friends and family that what you were diagnosed with. How was that? Because you have to grasp what was the message that they gave you, and then when you're ready, you have to deliver it to your family first, and then to the rest of the community. How did you deal with that?
So the hardest part, I think, was I just went for a routine colonoscopy. I wasn't expecting to hear anything. And the shock, you go through shock. Then I went through anger. And then I had some time with God, and I said, all right, God, if this is what I need to go through in order to share your gospel, then I'm willing to do that. And I refused to call it cancer. I began calling it the disruption. And so that's how I explained it to my friends and family. I hopped on Facebook and I said, here's the situation. I know that I have a calling on my life. I know that I have things in motion that God has called me to do. And this is a disruption because he needs me to slow down long enough for him to speak to me. And he's allowing this to happen. So I will close my eyes, take the time to rest and hear from him. And so that's what I told them. They were all like, excuse me, I don't understand. And I said, well, right now, that's how I'm dealing with it. And so that was what I told them. And so thankfully, most of my family is has a relationship with Christ. So they understood that I was leaning on him for all healing and process, whether it was prayer, pills, or physician. I was like, I will go through what's necessary, but I felt like I needed to let them know that I had made this decision, and I gave the same decision to my doctors as well. So
Incredible. And then how empowered did you feel?
once I got past the doctor's visits where it feels like they're all putting something in a box and it's on a conveyor belt going from doctor to doctor, and they hand you this present like it's in a giant email that this is what your solution's going to be. I was like, oh, no. I said, I need to have part in this. And so that's what I did. I said, I live a very different lifestyle than a lot of people, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I want all three of those to be a part of my healing. I don't want just the physical aspect. I need all three of them to be a part of my healing. So that totally empowered me when I felt like God was saying, okay, yes, you're going to have to face this. Yes, you're going to have to do this. Yes, I want your yes on the table for your whole community, because they're going to ask, and you need to let them bless you, because that's blessing them. And that's how that worked. And I felt totally empowered by God's word in saying that God brings community so that he can bless you and they can be blessed.
So my beautiful Tammy, we're going to talk about your book that's there at the back of you in our show.
Yeah. Oh, that way. Wait, that way.
That's not
backwards.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about your book, but are you going to write a story or a book on a story on your life that you now went through the last part of? Yes, please do that. Because not a lot of people approach it the way that you are approaching it. It is extraordinary.
Yeah, my husband and I decided to write something together, mainly because the caregiver is also so important to the healing process. And so it's probably what was very overwhelming, and I think it is for anybody who gets diagnosed with cancer, is everybody starts telling you what books to read. Well, they're all like 2-inch, 3 inches thick. I just wanted the Reader's Digest version. I wanted this thick. I didn't have the time. I literally went from diagnosis to surgery in less than 3 weeks. Wow. So it was like, I'm like, I don't have, and I had to get all the other ducks in a row, of course. And so we're thinking 50 to 70 pages of a very tiny book to help people prepare before, like the minute you hear, these are the things that you need to think about, to surgery is like this, to this is what you do in the hospital, to this is how you recover well at the end, like after surgery and you go home. And so that's really what we're going to write about.
Phew, I need another pair of glasses. I'm going to just have this one for you.
Oh, those are lovely.
Wow. Incredible. So my beautiful Giovanna, just hearing Tammy's story, do you have a message for her before we're going to spend some time with your story and a few questions I need to ask you? Oh, just Giovanna, you are mute. Your sound is gone. And your sound is not here with me. I cannot mute or unmute you. Still not there? No. Oh, no.
Goodness.
This show is giving us some technical difficulties. And it's a strange thing, my beautiful Giovanna, because even your mic went off my screen here at the back studio. Cannot hear. Sorry, my darling. Let us hear. Still not hear. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. Maybe if you can go out and come in again. Thank you. So my beautiful viewers, I'm not going to do any editing. This is part of life. Sometimes things happen. It's how you deal with it. And for me, I love to be real, not pretending. If something happened, then it happens. There's a reason for it. I am sometimes don't understand the reason, but in hindsight, when God allowed me to connect all the dots, it was exactly the way it was supposed to happen. So my beautiful Tammy, when we had our coffee chat, you just have blew me away. You have blew me away. The way that, and I cannot wait for that we're going to discuss your book. I wanted to ask you, not to go into your book for this show, but putting things down on paper and knowing that there's a legacy for others, because a legacy is part of the questions that I wanted to ask you almost at the end of the show. But there's a legacy that you are leaving in a book form. How does that make you feel? And can you elaborate while we wait for Giovanna to come back?
I think legacy is incredibly important. And to tell you the truth, one of my side jobs is I help people find their family legacy. And I encourage them to write it. That's another book that's on the shelf that's waiting to be finished. But because I talk about that in my book, about legacy and how important it is to get your children involved in what's going on in their lives. And God really opened my eyes growing up where I grew up is a very historical part of America in Colorado. It's where the first railroad went across the Continental Divide so that people could get west. And hearing that history and growing up with it, it made me search for my own personal history. And fortunately, my family has written a lot of their history down so that I understand where God has always been a part of my past history. And because of that, it gives me strength. God uses that history to bring us strength, because he told us in the, like the Israelites, when they were going through over the Jordan, God told them to put 12 stones representing the 12 tribes, because every time they were to pass that with their children, they were to tell the story of God's grace, love, and his consistent faithfulness to the Israelites. And so I feel like that God calls us to do the same thing. And so the little book that I'm writing for that is called 12 Stones. And it's the 12 steps to helping you and your children find legacy in the past of your family. So.
Wow. That's incredible. So Giovanna is back in studio, but the camera is now off. So there she's back. There she's back. So my beautiful Giovanna, are you ready for me to bring you in? I'm sure we can hear you now. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hear you?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It's all good.
It's all good, my beautiful Giovanna. My Giovanna, can you tell us also when you found out, and please continue.
Sure. So, it was a big shocker to me, right? Like it is to everybody else. But I had to go inward. I didn't want to hear what the outside had to say because I just could not believe it. And I had lost my mom to cancer, and I just could not imagine. I had 2 young kids to leave them. Like the pain that I had at 30 when she left me, to see my young kids have it. So it was an inside job for me. Yes, I had support from the community, the doctors, the family, my friends, but it was going inside because I really wanted to know, why did I have to go through this, right? And so I ended up going, I like we all, when we're at the very end, when we got nowhere to go and we're at the very bottom, the only place to go is up. So it's either you lay down and you say, okay, I'm done, or you say, no, I'm not done. I'm going to rise and I'm going to figure out, what do I need to do to change? Because, I had to take some ownership. I smoked. Like I said, I didn't take care of myself. I was smoking to release the stress. And I recognized that. I mean, I was smart enough to know that I did not take care of myself. So what I did was turn to communities that can help me to understand me, learn about, what do I need to learn to survive this, right? If God gave me a second chance, because there are so many people out there who don't get a second chance. And when we realize that we got a second chance, whatever that may be, whatever storm you may go through, right? It doesn't have to be cancer, but whatever storm you went through, to look at it now that you can do something more or something different, because it's calling. I believe every experience we have, it's calling for us to do something different, whether it's to serve with your heart, whether it's to go after what you're really passionate about, whether it's all around serving, right? Because it's not about us. And, my personal experience was, if you gave me a second chance, I promise you I would change. But it wasn't change from the outside, it was change from the inside first. So what does that mean? For me, it meant start taking care of yourself. Fill up your cup first before you fill up everybody else's cup, right? It meant take time to give gratitude to the Creator. For goodness sakes, if you give me a second chance, I promise I would change. And one of the things I did change was, I wake up in the morning and I go straight to a desk where I write, and I have 3 things I'm grateful for every morning, right? I didn't do that in the past. How many of you can relate that you get up in the morning and you go make breakfast for the kids, and you do this and you do that, you get them to school, and you're like, now you got to get yourself ready for work, and you don't take time, not for the Creator and not even for yourself. So this journey led me to go inside to learn that there's a power within us that needs to be heard, that needs to be understood, that needs to be connected with everything we do. And so my journey has led me down the path of, having this awakening. For me, the cancer was a wake-up call to realize we are important. We are important. There's something that lives within us that is dormant, that is dying to express. To get to where I was, I ignored every sign of that calling, like, stop. I fell down the steps. I told you, Sanet, you came to my house. I fell down those 16 steps like Superwoman in the middle of the night because I was so tired, and my son called me and I had to go turn off his iPhone alarm or the iPod at the time, and I fell down the steps. That was a knock on the door saying, hey, slow down. And I was saved from being on a wheelchair, right? Because I wasn't thinking of myself. I wasn't getting the proper sleep. I wasn't eating correctly. So this journey that when I went down this cancer journey, for me, it's time for change. You cannot continue going this way. That was the connection that I made with God, and the promise that I made with God, that I would spread this information, right? If He gave me another chance, I would change, and I would help people to see how they can change too. Because it's a gift for us to have a second chance at life. It is a gift that no one else can give us but God. Right? No one else can give you. God gave you life, and God can take it away if you don't, right? So I'm devoted, just like you are, Tammy. I'm devoted to God, to say that He comes first in everything I do. And when you can connect to that, it's one thing to say I believe in God. It's one thing to embody God within us, right? There's a diff. So when you do that, you see the communities come together, right? So when I went down this journey, I also volunteer now at a hospital. I would have never done that if I didn't have cancer, right? I volunteer now, and, just to be there, don't have to say anything, but just to listen to someone speak, you create that bond that's invisible. And God is invisible. God is disguised. For all of us who are walking down the street, or we're talking to someone, and you may say something nice, I believe God is in disguise in so many different ways, right? He could be in another person, he could be in an animal, he can be a flower, just waiting to see how you react. Because we're here in what I call Earth School. Every experience we have is your dedication to what God has created, right? You acknowledging His creation. the beautiful trees, the beautiful animals, the sun shining. I never looked at life this way. I always looked at life like we're trained to work very hard, to make sure our kids have everything. We have to sacrifice ourselves to achieve our goals. I'm sorry, that is wrong. That is very incorrect. You don't have to sacrifice yourself because you are a child of God, and God is not putting you on this earth to sacrifice. You're choosing to sacrifice with the choices that we're making, right? And so just like we have our own kids, we don't bring our kids into this world so they can sacrifice. I wouldn't want to come into this world if that's what I had to do. I want to come into this world and I want to enjoy life with what I love to do. And that's, what I teach my clients also is, what do you love to do? Because I believe once we go down this journey, it's about, and you get a second chance. And the storm is over. Not to say you're not going to have another storm, but when you get that second chance, now you have reconnected and remembered who you are. You have reconnected and remembered who you are. Because in a crazy, chaotic world, we forget who we are and whose we are. Right? So, I encourage each and every one of you that are going through a storm to sit down, have a few minutes with yourselves, just by yourself. Put your hand on your heart and listen. Just listen silently. It will tell you everything you need to know in order to get through the storm. And when you go down this path, you know that it's all about not reacting, because reacting doesn't get us anywhere, right? We take a moment and we start living in the present. I believe that most of us, go down this path of remembering the past, remembering, trying to figure out the future, but we forget to enjoy the present moment because no one really guarantees us tomorrow. No one guarantees us tomorrow. And if you can be faithful to who you are and whose you are, you can weather any storm. I know that now, but I did not know that before. This is how you came into my life, Sanet. Like, you came into my life after I found out that I was doing it all wrong. I was trying to go for all the notary, right? Get my degrees, be a perfect mom, be a perfect wife, be perfect for everybody else, but for me. And now the tables are turned and I can be more perfect for my family, right? Because I understand. I understand that I'm just as valuable and important, and I need to love myself. I think my cancer journey for me was a breast cancer journey. It was really to help me love me. That's the biggest lesson I got, is love me the way I am. And, I didn't pay attention to that before, but now I live by that.
Beautiful. My beautiful Giovanna, thank you so much. We're going to ask you the question on legacy, but I wanted to ask if you have a message for beautiful Tammy. And then I'm going to ask Tammy if, after hearing beautiful Giovanna's story, if you've got a message for her, and then I will come back to you with your question on legacy. My beautiful Giovanna.
Tammy, I just love the fact that you were strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to play the game like it's written. I have my own rules, right? And your rules became more important than anybody else's rules. I'm not saying not to listen to other people, but what you did was you listened to your heart. I forget, I had a friend who, and it just reminds me of you, who she got diagnosed and she goes to the doctor, I'm sorry, like, I'm going away next week. This can't happen. Like, I'll take care of it when I come back, And so, and what I mean by that is what you did was you did not allow the outside world to affect your inside. Your inside was telling you something, your intuition, your gut, whatever it was. And that to me is your higher self. That to me is the God within you. You were able to listen to that and you honored it. And so God is giving you everything you need in your life right now because you honored that voice. So I applaud you. Absolutely.
Thank you, my beautiful Giovanna. My beautiful Tammy.
Yes, Giovanna, so much that you learned. Oh my goodness. I love that it was an opportunity to open your eyes to what it was God saw more in you, and that you were willing to open your arms to hear what God had for you by making all these changes in your life, because you saw that, God gives us this body, that how we treat it is very important. And I just love that you were willing to allow him to take you and change you even through this experience. Because I think all journeys are important, that every journey, there's no regret in your journey, that, every single thing that happens has purpose. And therefore you can't say, oh, I regret that I did this, or I regret that I did that, because God's going to make ministry out of it. Every bit of your messes becomes ministry. And so it's very important that you continue that. I just love that God is doing that within you and that you've embraced it. And I love your 3 things to be grateful for every morning. I do the same thing. I love doing that in the mornings. And I love that your children are watching you make this transformation. They've watched you make this transformation. And because of that, they're ministered to, whether they recognize it or not at their age. But in the future, they're going to recognize that mom allowed God to change her. Let me allow God to change me. So good for you.
Thank
You're leaving
you.
legacy.
Thank you.
How beautiful. So, my beautiful Giovanna, you have written an amazing book about the rainbow. I don't know if you have it in that you can
I
show.
don't.
It's okay, but can you quickly tell us about the book, and then what legacy? And because you have now put something on paper in a book form of legacy. Oh, it's so funny. He loves the energy.
Oh, she's my savior here. This
I'm
one.
so sorry.
So I wrote the book, Power of the Rainbow, 7 Steps to Sparking Change in You. And each letter of the rainbow really represents a step that I needed to go through in order to really connect to God. So the first step was reconnect to your authentic self, right? So I had to go through that process to become stronger. A was for awareness, becoming aware of, the things that I was saying, doing, thinking, because sometimes we do create, and I am going to say not sometimes, but we do create our reality. Once you start learning self-development, you go into that and you, oh my goodness, did I really do that? Yeah. So becoming aware of, what you're feeling and honoring it, right? And recognizing it. I is for imagination. I say everything starts in the imagination. Everything that was created in our life. First, somebody had to visualize it in the mind. So the mind is very powerful. So imagination is going into, I say, your workshop. Go into the workshop, do what you want, and then go after it. Because I don't believe that something would come into our mind if it wasn't meant for us to go after it. If there's a desire you want, God planted there for you. He's like, go, I got you, go do it. So the imagination is very important, but we lose that when we, I'm a teacher as well. I was a teacher as well. So, but we lose that imagination when we get older, right? But your grandson, Sanet, they got some imagination, don't they? And
Yes.
so if we can kind of go back to that and hold on to that, that kind of helps us to go through the transformation that we go through. N is for nurturing, right? Nurturing ourselves. I had to learn how to do that. B is for beliefs. What beliefs are holding me back? What beliefs that I inherited from my family, from my ancestors, and from society that gave me the belief that I'm going to die. Like I had to change that, those words and say, no, I'm not going to die. This is just a wake up call. I'm going to win this battle. Regardless of what the papers and tests show me, we can go inside and say, I don't care what this paper says, right? I don't care. This is what I want. When we can say that, I love it.
I
When
could
we can
not read. I
say
could not
that,
read it out
I love
before,
it.
my Giovanna, but today I want. What doesn't matter what the paper says.
It doesn't matter what anybody says, what a paper says, what matters is what you believe. When I learned that, I'm like, oh my goodness. Let me start making a list of all the things I believe that are not true about myself. Right? Who told me that I can't have this? Who says I can't be this or do this? And so, B is for examining the beliefs, always being optimistic, having an attitude of gratitude every single day. Because there are people who don't open their eyes in the morning, but just having an attitude of gratitude for just opening up your eyes and breathing, right? And W is for wins, celebrating you. We don't learn how to do that. No one teaches us how to celebrate us. But celebrating us makes us want to do more. Acknowledging what you did yesterday great makes you want to do more today and the next day. It's almost like you have to be your own cheerleader. We don't do that. So this process that I take my clients through is really helping them see their best version of themselves, follow their heart, regardless what goes on around them. Understanding how the mind works, because everything starts in the mind. Everything starts with a thought. A thought turns to matter. So if we can understand that, and that's what I had to learn. I had to learn beliefs, emotions, and your thoughts create your reality. You want to change your reality? Go inside. Let's think about what you're thinking. Let's change what you're thinking. Again, no one can make you do anything. You have to want to do it. And I wanted to change. I wanted another chance. I promised I would change. So God said, you want change? Here, let me give it to you. Go through this. And I'm going to stay here. I'm going to say that, change is never easy. But when you have the big why, like you say, Sanet, when there's a big why behind it, nothing stops you. Only you. So take your foot off the brake and keep going. Because this is a beautiful journey that we're on. We're here to explore things. We're here to really enjoy. We only have so much time. That's one thing that everybody has the same. No matter who you are, what title you are, you have 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with that time? So
Beautiful.
make it worth it. Go on a venture every day. That's what I say. Even if it's just in the mind, right? But it's what energy are we giving? Because whatever energy we put out in the universe, we're getting it back. If you're full of fear and worry, well, guess what? You're going to see things that are going to make you have more fear, more worry. So let's change that, because the only one that can do it is you. Nobody can do it. You cannot blame anyone. You cannot point the fingers at anyone. This is all what I say, an inside job, right? We have to go inside and transform from the inside out, and then everything else on the outside will change.
Wow, incredible. So, my beautiful viewers, these powerful stories remind us all that yes, there will be storms in your life, but the first thing you have to go within. Grace isn't about being untouched by the storm, but choose to love, choose to bring truth into your own life. And then, above everything, choose you. Choose your magnificent, because there's always a reason for your soul path to unfold on certain times in your life. And sometimes it's in our darkest moment that we truly are on our knees And I can only say it because I experienced that as well. That I made a decision to live and not to die. So my beautiful ladies, thank you so much for your beautiful, incredible story. Thank you for showcase and witnessing to all of us. And I know the right viewers, I want to say right viewers, but the viewers that will need your voice, your story, your message will find it. Find this beautiful episode. Before we ending off with your golden nuggets, I want to please extend an invite to all the guests and all the diamond beauties and Tanzanite heroes. Please connect with my beautiful viewers. Down below in the show note, all of the details is there. And then also on Wednesday, the 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific daytime, savings time, California time, we're going to have a beautiful Tammy that will come and tell us about her book. So I'm excited for Tammy, for you to come through. And then my beautiful viewers, my birthday is on June the 20th. I will be 60 years old. I'm truly excited to celebrate. I don't want to say old. I don't feel old. I feel young, 60 years young. I'm going to celebrate not only my birthday, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern daytime, New York time, because and not only I'm going to celebrate my birthday, but my book is a year out and I never did a launch. So my beautiful Giovanna, a year later, I am going to do my book launch on my birthday. How excited is that? I am truly so blessed. So my beautiful ones, please connect with my guests. They are truly amazing. Tammy and Giovanna, are you ready for paparazzi? My beautiful Tammy, what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is that in order to be, no matter what your age, there are three things you need. You need to be known, you need to be loved, and you need to be challenged. And so whoever it is you're with, the way you love them is by giving them the opportunity to be known, to be loved, and to be challenged, just as God does each and every day with us.
I love it. Are you ready for paparazzi?
Yeah.
Here we go. Woo-hoo! I love it. I love it. Thank you. My beautiful Giovanna, what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is whatever storm you're going through, connect. Connect with your authentic self. Connect with that power that you have within you and know that there's something there that's guiding you to go through it. And you're going to have breakthroughs after the storm. You're going to open up to know that you are meant for more. So don't stay stuck in the storm. Know there's a powerful thing within you to guide you through it.
Wow, thank you. And my beautiful Giovanna, this is your beautiful pen that you gave me with the camera on top, and I'm using it on all my shows. I have it a year now, so thank you for bestowing
You're
such a
welcome.
beautiful gift to me. Are you ready for paparazzi?
Let's do it.
Let me see if I can. Here we go.
Yay!
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, my beautiful Giovanna, for
Thank
your
you.
love, for your friendship the last 3 years. You cannot believe how time
I
flies.
know.
And we are flying together, my girl. I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thank you.
honored to have you in my life. Thank you, my beautiful Tammy, for coming through on a coffee chat, joining our Diamond Beauties Forever group, having an amazing coffee chat, and be part of our amazing, loving, heart-centered community. So, my beautiful viewers, we actually don't have time for a dance, but however, I learned the other day, don't say but, say however. So listen to the difference in the sound. But, cancel, cancel, cancel. However, we had such an amazing time with two incredible ladies. And Selena that have tried to come through. I want to wish you all an amazing day. Look after yourself. Smile often and wait for it. Keep on dancing. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.